There's a lot of like very direct connections to like Donald Trump, but there's like so many other politicians in real life who are also scummy, like just clear criminals. Some of them actually get punished. A lot of them don't. Trump obviously being one who's like literally a convicted criminal, but doesn't get any time served. So like there was like some people asking like, how did Fisk even make it out of jail? I'm just like, that's like a whole season in and of itself. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast, the podcast where we confront our violent natures.
With violence.
With more violence.
Yes.
And more violence.
And more?
More violence. My name's Alvin.
I'm Jess.
Today we are going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, and I've been dying to watch this show because ever since they said that they were bringing back the Matt Murdock from the Netflix series, I've been like having a lot of weird mixed feelings, like a mix of excitement, a mix of just hatred and suspicion, because Disney Plus has just not been hitting with most of their shows. I don't know how you've been feeling, but lately Disney Plus has not really justified its reason for existing for the most part. Like, I liked X-Men 97. That was cool. I liked Loki season 2. That was cool. But then a huge bunch of shows were just pretty mediocre.
I don't care what Disney's doing. I'm watching K-dramas now, and like I'm looking for other things to do. So if something comes out and it's good, I'll tune in, and if everyone's like really saying it's actually good. But I feel like I need a break from Marvel, and I feel like Marvel needs a break from Marvel. I feel like we just shouldn't have Marvel movies for a decade. Like, we did it for a decade. Let's stop for a decade and then come back, because now it just feels like we're getting garbage and like it's just churning out. Like, it's just a factory.
So as somebody who's never watched the original Netflix series, what did you think of these first two episodes?
No, I really liked them. I know that there was like some buzz around Matt's friends. What is it? Karen and
Foggy. You
Foggy.
Get their names right.
I want to call him Froggy. Like, that's just,
No.
I really want to call him Froggy.
No.
But anyways, I know some buzz around it, and I was just like, somebody's getting killed. Like, as soon as it started, I was like, look at them all happy and like, you know, just walking over to Josie's or whatever the bar is called. And,
literally, that's what it's called.
And I was just like, one of y'all's dying. Someone's gonna die, and someone's gonna upset this man. So, and then it was like such a happy moment of the three like walking down the street, and then like the music that was playing, and I was just like, I don't know these people, but something bad's gonna happen. I thought that was like a really good opening. I think we'll get into it, but like that whole first 16 minutes. That was just like a punch in the face. Like, I'm not even close to Daredevil like that, or like his friends. Like, I could just tell what they mean to him and what they mean to each other. And I was just like, this happiness and this music, it doesn't go together. And I was just like, y'all gonna do something. And I was shocked. I was shooked with what happened. But for the first episode, the rest of it was kind of like a slow setup that wasn't setting up enough for me. When I like after that first 16 minutes, like, it was interesting. I was like, okay, so we're dealing with Matt and his issues, and then we bring back what's his face, Kingpin, or Wilson. He's Wilson.
Wilson.
And we bring him back, and we're dealing with that, and like, oh, where's everybody been? You know, like a high school reunion or some shit. And then I was just like, this is boring me a little bit.
Damn.
And then we got to episode 2, and I was just like, okay, we're good. This is good.
So you were bored for the rest of episode 1.
Kind of.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
Not like so much where I wasn't like paying attention, because I was just like, okay.
There just wasn't enough happening for you.
Yeah. I'm like, after like the punch in the face of the first 16 minutes, and then I think that episode was like an hour. Like,
yeah, it was like an hour.
It was like a little over an hour. I was just like, oh, this is like...
This is it?
It's like, it's not bad, but it was just like, this is a lot to like take in. And I wasn't sure if I needed to like know anything from like the previous Daredevil
Do you feel
show.
like you're missing important things?
No, I feel like it's more like I want to know like what's going on. Like, I want to know like more about Matt and his friends and the friendship and
they're like the context of their friendship,
how that works. And then I know Fisk kept mentioning like, oh, my back was broken or something like that, and I was beat up really bad, and that's why I left my wife Vanessa. And I was just like, what happened? Like
that even for the hardcore fans of the original shows, we're all lost kind of, because this gets into the stupid cameo that he made in Hawkeye and then Echo, and those things never really connected with this show. It's just like they left it kind of vague and just like an open gap. This is where it gets into like my one concerning thought for at least for the first episode, is it doesn't do enough catching up to people who've never watched the show to like get you up to speed on like who Matt's friends are with Foggy and Karen, like just getting more context on why do we care about these three? Why are they at this bar right now? Why is this a huge deal? Why is it such a huge deal that this huge event happens in the first 10 minutes? So that's why I wanted to get to know your thoughts on that as somebody who's never watched the series, because if you haven't watched the first 3 seasons, you don't get that relationship.
Yeah.
Like you don't know the relationship of these 3 people. For me, it was devastating what happened, because I love these characters, and if anything bad happens to them, it genuinely pains me because I have 3 seasons worth of getting to know them.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're kind of missing that appreciation if you don't watch the Netflix shows first.
I can see that.
But at least you don't have to understand, or you don't have to watch the shows to understand this new plot. This is essentially season 4.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I still felt like, I was like, oh my God, when they killed Foggy. Foggy's dead. But yeah, no, I was still like, because of the way they did it. And like you said, I'm not like familiar with the characters. Like I know Daredevil, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, and all that stuff like that. I've heard of Daredevil.
We don't talk about him. We don't talk about him.
But no, what is his name? Charlie Cox. I think he did a really good job, and just the way they set up the scene. Foggy shot, bleeding out, and all you hear is his heartbeat, and Daredevil is fucking up. What's that little Dexter name? Bullseye? Is that what they called him in there?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like Point Dexter. Ew. Yes. But yeah, so he's in there and like he's fighting for his life, and you just hear the heartbeat, and you could just see like, it was a lot, and I was just like, don't let that heartbeat stop. Don't let that heartbeat stop. And then when it finally stopped, and the way he just like held Bullseye to him, just like in pure like just.
He goes, why?
Frustration and sorrow, and I was just like, you better fling that just fling him. And it was a lot. I'm like, I don't know these people, but like I could see the connection. I could see that they are connected and like they mean the world to each other.
Okay, so at least the acting came through.
The
for
acting
you to
was
fill
just
in the blanks.
yeah, because when his heart stopped, like when he got shot, I was like,
and
then
you're
when
hearing
his heart
Karen
stopped,
in the background just constantly saying, "It's okay, they're a few minutes away."
I know, and then Daredevil's listening, like he's listening, but he's also trying to focus on the fight, and it's just like. I mean, like, you can't let him go because he's just killing anybody that just crosses his path. Just whatever he has in his hand, he's just killing. So it's just like you can't really like let this guy go.
Yeah,
you have to like put him down or restrain him and stuff. But then you want to go to your friend, and it's just it was a lot. I was like, they could have just dropped the first episode 16 minutes, and I would have been like,
one 16-minute episode is just Foggy dying.
That's a lot. Fucked. But no, the acting, yeah, perfection in that first 16 minutes. I mean, not the rest of the episode's good. The acting's good, but that drew me in, and I was just like, holy shit. Like, I'll sit down every week and watch this. I can't.
I'm still trying to process Foggy's death. Like, when that happened, when he got shot, I feel like I just knew it was coming because, one, the marketing just gave away too fucking much. Oh. But it didn't. Luckily, it didn't take away from the impact when it happened. I didn't know how it was going to go down. So when Bullseye just did the whole runaround of making them think that Foggy's relative was getting attacked just so that he can snipe him right outside the bar, as soon as that happened and he collapsed on the floor, we both just like yelled at the TV basically. And it's like we were losing our friend. And I love that you had that reaction because you don't know this fucking guy. He says like maybe 6 lines total before he dies. And it's mostly him on the phone.
I don't know. It's just, for me, it's like Ace's debt in One Piece. It's just like everyone's like, why does everybody love Ace so much? He's not even really in. It's just like it's what he means to Luffy. So for me, Foggy, it's
Foggy had way less time in this season at least.
Yeah, and I was just like, the way they acted, I can tell what he means to Matt, to Karen. Like you could tell. Like so I was just like, y'all, that's rude. Y'all don't do that to their friend.
Oh my god. I'm really hoping that this story justifies killing off such a beloved character so soon, because I still have concerns of, can the show work without the friendship dynamic? Because Karen's not part of the picture now too, now that everyone's estranged from each other.
Yeah.
And I love the Foggy character. He's like the most wholesome, like beating heart of this Nelson and Murdoch and Page law firm that they had set up. And it was just so nice to see him grow from like this awkward guy with like really weird long hair, starting off as a lawyer, to like now he's got like this nice crisp clean cut, like going on with a nice like just dad beard going on. Like he just looked like he came up in the world, and he looked like he was gonna go places, and then he just cut short.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god. Like I wanted to jump into the TV and get my hands on Bullseye. He probably would have killed me in like 0.05 seconds, but I would have died trying. All right. I would have picked up a knife or something.
Yeah,
and
he
he
probably
probably
put that knife right in you. Yes.
So the whole time that the fight was happening, I really wanted Matt to just kill him. I really just kept saying like, I'm sorry, like I know you're not trying to kill him, but kill him.
Yeah.
like it's okay.
I was like, what
you're
else
Catholic.
do
You can be
do?
forgiven. Go to the confessional booth, and then you'll be good.
I just don't know what else you do at that point. Like even if it was like
That's
he's
your boy,
literally
man.
just going in, and anybody that's in his
Yeah,
way.
anyone is collateral damage. I
Yeah.
think later in that in the episode, the judge mentioned that I think there was like 11 deaths.
Yeah.
As a result of
Yeah,
that.
it was so many, and he just not even a thought to it.
He specifically wants to fuck with Matt Murdock after season 3, because they had a huge fight at the end of season 3. Again, this is why I think it's, again, you don't have to fully watch everything to understand what's going on, but you get a better appreciation when you know the history. Because otherwise, it's just like, who the fuck is this guy? And why is he killing everybody randomly?
It's just like, that's Wade from Heart of Dixie. Go back to your baby mama. Like, what the hell?
Because he just attacked everybody just unprovoked, at least seemingly. But at least when you watch the previous show, you get context. I'm like, okay, I get why this guy would target Matt Murdock and the people that he loves. So because there's a whole history. So I wonder if we're gonna get any more explanation as to why that attack happened specifically. I mean, we get a conversation later where Fisk supposedly confirmed, was like, it wasn't me. I did not do it. Matt Murdock, it's okay.
You love talking in this way.
So apparently Fisk didn't send this guy, but I have so many doubts. I'm just like Matt. I'm super suspicious of this guy.
I don't really trust him.
I just feel like something was orchestrated, because unless Bullseye just acted on his own to be petty, which that could be a possibility, but I really want an explanation for why the fuck he did that, because he took away my Foggy. I really hope I'll enjoy this show enough without Foggy around, because it just feels so fucking weird to not have the trio.
I
thought we were gonna have more time.
I thought he was just gonna end up like in a coma for like maybe most of because I was just I don't
and
know,
just racing
like
against the clock to see if we can save him.
Yeah, I was just like, because why would you? I was like, aren't they like the main?
They're the main trio.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you kill off one, and where do we go from here? But I mean, like they skipped a year later, and Karen left, and I keep wanting to call her Jessica.
Yeah, true blood in the brain.
Yes. But yeah, she left because it's just like, it's just too much, and now he's got like a new lawyer friend person, and I'm just like,
I mean, there's not enough time. This is a 9-episode series, but I would really like to get filled in on what exactly caused them to separate, because Karen did mention that Matt just stopped talking to her for weeks.
Yeah.
So she's making it seem like it's his fault for initiating their separation, and then he would try to leave voicemails, but she wouldn't respond. I want to know more about that, and I also really hope that they don't keep Karen away from Matt for the entire show, because it's like the whole excitement was that we get to have the original crew back together, and they've always had like good times with each other. They would always have like moments of falling out with each other, because they would have so many disagreements, like philosophically revolving around the Daredevil identity. And now that Karen is somebody that's supportive of his work as Daredevil, her knowing that he's no longer Daredevil also pisses her off. So I really hope that she comes back from this weird time, like living in San Francisco, because I just want more story of those two as well.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was because, well, he didn't even die, but I thought it was like maybe she left because he killed someone.
At first I thought like maybe she would have been turned off by the fact that she knows that he attempted to kill Bullseye, but I don't think that's her problem. I think her problem is he was isolating himself, and then he also retired
like
as Daredevil.
You know, they're like the same. They ignored their lady friend.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that could be why, but I was just like, I think I would like to maybe see, I don't know if they could do some sort of flashback of like that year or whatever before they meet up again, because he was like, let's get coffee. She's like, I don't want to. He's like, you lying, you want this. And I was just like, I don't know, like this is weird, but because Alvin said they were friends and I don't know these people, so
yes, they also used to date briefly, on and off.
So I was just like, there's more, just get the coffee, bitch. But yeah, no, I would like to see, because I was just like you had that nice scene, the opening, them walking, and then
it's just ruined.
These two aren't even supporting each other in the midst of
their
friend being, so it's I hope we can see some sort of something for an episode.
Yeah, I don't know. How'd you feel about learning that Daredevil was retired? Did you feel like Matt is doing the right thing?
I feel like whether he's there or not, there's going to be crime. People are going to hate him or they're going to love him. And he's going through the loss of his friend. And I feel like it's also just like, okay, I lost my friend. And in that moment, I decided I'm going to kill this person who took him from me, even though his whole thing is like not killing people.
Yeah.
So it's just like, where do you go from there? When he was on the stand, it was like the year later, and he was like, he's like, there is no justice because Foggy's not here. He's never gonna be here. That
scene broke my heart.
What did he say? Something, he's just like, justice won't be served, but what you guys can do is just like lock up this piece of shit for the rest of forever.
Basically, it's paraphrasing, but
very paraphrasing, because I can't remember, but I was just like, I was like, damn, I was.
And that's still not enough.
It's still not enough, yeah. But I don't think it's weird. I think it makes sense, but I just don't think he can like stay away. It's not something he can stop doing.
You already know that the show is called Daredevil. You know damn well he's gonna be daredeviling.
So I'm just like, what do you mean you're not, you're retired? You're not. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't, because you stay listening. You hear picking up, cases and stuff like that. Listen to heartbeats, and
that's another thing. He really can't turn off the devil because his powers are always active. Like he's always catching something. I like that you brought that up, because later on in the episode, you see him every once in a while catching conversations, whether it's like overhearing about people's feelings on Fisk running for mayor, or hearing somebody in trouble and he doesn't go after the person that's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's been living for a year ignoring that itch. That has to be brutal on him.
It does, but I also wonder if he's just like, there are other vigilantes out there, so hopefully one of them shows up, steps in.
But I don't think that brings him enough comfort either. Because
it wouldn't. But
he has his own way of dealing with things, and he can't trust other people. Like his run-in with Frank Castle, Punisher, that gives him enough PTSD where it's just like, I really need to be watching out for these people, because if there's like another guy that thinks he can just kill people,
I'm watching out for Punisher. I want to know if he's gonna show up. He's so ignorant. I love him.
Yeah, you got to keep John Bernthal, man. He made season 2 of Daredevil. That was fabulous. And I think the conversation that he has with Fisk later on, when they have that private chat at the diner, just confirms for both of them that they're not going to be able to ignore their natures for very long. Like, they're already slipping into that by the end of episode 2, really. The conversation between Fisk and Matt, to me, is like the meat of what I love from the Netflix series. I was worried that we weren't going to have moments like that, because I had overheard that or read that the showrunner was boasting and gloating about like, oh yeah, this show's just going to have all action. We're going to have all the violence. We don't want to hear about superheroes squabbling up with each other and having philosophical debates with each other. And I was just like, oh no.
Oh no.
That concerned me. I'm like, why would you say something like that when that's exactly what made Daredevil so fucking good, especially season 2. The clips that you see with Frank Castle and Matt just on the roof debating with each other about what justice is supposed to be. And Matt's just like, you're supposed to give people a chance. And Frank's like, nah, man, I hit people and they stay down. It's like, that's what I do. Those were the best parts. The action is great, but the action means nothing if you don't have those conversations and those decisions that characters make. So I'm glad that they've actually kept that. So that scene in the diner where you just see these two people that you know damn well are not going to ignore their nature. Fisk trying to like turn over a new leaf. Yeah, that's not fucking happening. Like, I like that he's trying to convince himself. Like,
I know
him and Matt, they're just trying to convince themselves, not each other, that they're going to change. It's almost like them being a couple. It's so funny. Like, they just been through so much with each other. So I really love that Fisk is just trying to be like, yeah, no, like a rich person can only satisfy himself, but a mayor, he provides for the people. Like, he just wants to be a hero so bad. And so far, I don't know, it's not looking good for him. Like, he's trying his best not to be a criminal, and he's already slipping into that a little bit.
What is it, episode 2 with that hole in the road? I'm waiting for that hole to kill a bunch of people because they were waiting on a permit, and he's just like, just fill the hole. See, I'm getting things done. And I was just like, everybody about to fall in that hole and die right now. I don't know.
I really appreciated that he tried to fix that. That wasn't a regular pothole. That was a crater.
I know.
It looked like some character in the MCU just landed there and then got back up. I'm like, why is that huge ass thing there? Mm-hmm. Why is it not being fixed? I kind of want to see if there's any repercussions for the decisions he makes.
I hope there. Not because I like hate him, but it's just like,
I just want to see.
There's a reason we're waiting for a permit, and it shouldn't take long. But it's just like, you got to make sure it's like it's safe, you know. It's like what Eve from Invincible when she's like, I'm gonna make this nice park and stuff, and I was just like,
that's a good point.
Yeah, you
can't take these shortcuts. Like, you could try, but it's not gonna work in your favor for whatever reason.
Like, you are just seeing like the outer layer of it, and you need to know like, okay, well, why does this area look like this? Well, what happened? Assess it, you know, and make sure we could put a green tape on it. I don't know.
Green tape. He's going through a very interesting arc too. Like, he's having a falling out with Vanessa. We're seeing that their relationship is basically just crumbling. Like, he just straight up admits by the end of episode 1, it's like, I know about Adam. It's like, so he knows he's being cheated on. I'm like, did we see an Adam? Like, who's Adam?
I know. I was like, who? And because she was talking about, oh yeah, the business I was fulfilling. I was just like, business was fulfilling the business. So I was just like, okay, someone was in the business. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting because he's like, he's playing like a sad puppy, and then he's like making Vanessa seem like she's so mean and she's angry at him, and he's like, I've come back now. And when they were doing the couples therapy, and the therapist, she asked Vanessa, she was just like, you know, how did it make you feel after? She was just like, I was lonely, you know, he just up and left. And he started speaking. I'm just like, She asked Vanessa how it makes her feel. Why are you answering the question, sir?
Yeah, that was funny.
It was just, he's really just trying to be like, no, it's good.
Like,
I'm back, you know? And yeah, he is trying to be in control because when he just shows up for the first time, when he comes back, she's in the middle of like having a meeting. Yeah. And then like he just clears the room.
Just by standing there?
By being there. And like, when she says that to him, she was like, you know, you cleared the room, like, you're back now. Like, I was just like, damn, I felt like something was really just being taken away from her. And I don't know how long he was gone, but it's just like, she sustained, she built, she made it better.
Yeah. She said bulletproof.
You know, yeah.
The fact that he's giving Vanessa the kingpin world basically, and he's trying to leave that so he could be mayor. It's a nice attempt. I'll give him that. That is a nice attempt. That is a lot to give away.
Yeah.
But I can see that he also is quickly turning towards that, where he has to like use dirty tactics in order to stay in power as mayor. Because we see later on that there's like a police commissioner who hates his guts because clearly he's like in the wake of Fisk's destruction in the past 3 seasons. He's had cops like hurt and killed. So the fact that he had to use blackmail to keep the commissioner in line is like, listen, I know you got like a baby with another like a different woman.
Yeah.
It's so like you could leave if you want. Just know you probably will not have a family to go home to. Like, it's just like it only took by episode 2 for him to fall back in his ways. We also know that he has to keep his wife happy so that she can join him in public areas so that he looks good for the public.
Yeah.
I know that he says that he doesn't want to lose his wife in the therapy session, but I really wonder how much of this he's doing for his love for Vanessa versus his love for being a provider for the people. Yeah. So, because the whole reason he left being like the kingpin is because he got enough signatures to be like, all right, you're allowed to run for mayor. And then the fact that he won was just like fucking crazy.
Because everyone was talking hella shit when that person was going around the city interviewing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, he had to have won anyway. It made sense. But I was just like, the amount of shit talking that people were doing about him, I was just like,
there was a lot of haters.
Yeah, so I was just like, did he, like, you know, rig it or something? Because the fact
From what we saw, it doesn't look like he manipulated anything.
He did something. Maybe he burned some ballot
The young
boxes
people
or
liked
something.
him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like very direct connections to like Donald Trump, like clearly. Like I don't feel like, but it's also not like over the head. But there's like so many other politicians in real life who are also scummy, like just clear criminals. Some of them actually get punished. A lot of them don't. Yeah. Trump obviously being one who's like a literally a convicted criminal, but doesn't get any time served.
Yeah.
So like there was like some people asking like, how did Fisk even make it out of jail? I'm just like, that's like a whole season in and of itself. I feel like that ship has sailed, and at this point, the fact that we're being like led by a criminal, it's not even far fetched anymore. So I could see why people would vote for Fisk. Though I do wish that we got some more exploration on how the citizens felt about vigilantes as a whole, because my main issue with the MCU is we've got so far away from like society's reactions to superheroes. We almost don't get those interactions anymore, that I'm really not clear on how the general public feels about these people with powers. Like,
there's... you say that, it reminds me of the Spider-Man movies with Tobey, where you would literally, they would just have those moments where it'd be like, Spider-Man, like, I hate that guy. Or,
and people that cherish him.
Yeah, or like, oh, my kid looks up to him or whatever. And then you got the newspaper talking shit. And I do wish that they did that, because all of the shit that happened up until Endgame, and I'm just like, no one commented on that. No one had anything
We never
to
get
say.
to see people on the ground reacting to what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm like, is it because these are like bigger like heroes or whatever, and then like I don't know, heroes like Spider-Man, Daredevil, they're just like, they are in the streets, they are where it's at. That's where like regular people would mostly interact with them. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to save the, like, Daredevil in space. Like, we can't, I mean, we sent Spider-Man to space, but like, you know, when I think on it, I'm just like, these are like street level like guys, these are vigilantes, you know. And then you have people like Kingpin, I don't know, he's just like big and mean. So like, he doesn't really have powers, but he's just like,
not that we know of.
Honestly, because like,
point.
didn't he get blown up or something? I don't know, but you know what I mean, where it's just like normal people who then like either have so much money that they can like be a Green Goblin, or like have a lab and like turn to a lizard, like stuff like that. You would want people to comment on it. Like,
we just need clear information on what the world in the MCU is like. Like, how are people reacting to this? Because the last time we got any sort of opinions from a civilian was back in like Civil War, I think, when the Sokovia Accords got brought up. There was a woman that came up to Tony Stark and she was like, yeah, all your shenanigans in Sokovia killed my son who was on a trip. And that was like that was a good moment. I'm like, we don't have moments like that anymore, so we don't really know the standing of the general public of how people feel. We just get snippets here and there. Which that's why I appreciated the BB Urich character, who is the journalist who's going around taking interviews of random people, just giving their opinions. Because at least we get a start of something. We're like, okay, we're at least generating a sense of how people are feeling about this Fisk guy. I still don't have a full understanding of why so many people like Fisk and why they're so anti-vigilante. I feel like that's kind of like the gray area that needs to be like cleared up for me personally.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the criminals that are like, you know,
because Frank Castle is like, he might have been a inspiration to some people who wanted vengeance, but then a lot of people like lost their lives, and they have families and loved ones. So
it's like, it's really messy. You don't know what people's reasons could be. But I would be curious to like really know, like, did we interview anybody else? Like, can we keep interviewing people? I think that would be nice to keep interviewing people.
I think that'll still continue.
Series. Yeah,
I think so, because this BB character, again, you wouldn't know anything about this character. I mean, I'm new to this character too, but her last name is Urich, which is the last name of a reporter character from season 1 of Daredevil, who was a really awesome fucking character who I love. Ben Urich. He's my Uncle Ben. All right, in this universe, I almost cried over this man dying to Wilson Fisk's hands. Like, I was so heated
that
Fisk killed him, and I really wonder if this BB character is aware of that fact and knows that, because they're not utilizing her much so far. I really hope she has like a really prevalent role moving forward, because right now her only interaction was Fisk. Fisk is like this weird 5-minute interview where she doesn't really get much information, and I don't know what her goal is yet. But I really hope that she continues to paint a clearer picture of how people are feeling about vigilantes this season, because this Disney Plus show is the perfect medium to like explore that and take time to establish, hey, this is how many people like superheroes, this is how many people don't like them. Fisk is dealing with all that stuff on top of fixing his marriage and having to use his wife as like a prop to make himself look good to the public. And somebody else that needs to, unfortunately, use his wife to look good in public is White Tiger, which they made a quick reference to him in episode 1. I didn't think that he'd be like a full fleshed out character for the season until episode 2. And I don't know shit about White Tiger. Like, apparently the dude's Puerto Rican. He puts on some White Tiger, like Tony the Tiger clothes, and has like an amulet that gives him powers that they don't even explain yet. So he's a vigilante that's been running around trying to make up for the loss of Daredevil not being in the streets. So when episode 2 started with that guy just like trying to break up a fight, it just looked like a mugging.
Yeah.
And then during the fight, like he accidentally like trips, or somebody accidentally trips, and
that guy tripped over his partner. No, I think that's how it went.
Yeah,
he tripped over him.
That's what it was.
I was just like, something bad is about to happen. Something bad is about to happen, and then just swiped by the train.
And that train did not stop. I thought that was so crazy. It just kept going, and the train left. So I'm like, is there any bits of this guy?
Yeah, that train was going way too. I mean, like maybe it was out of service.
Out of service or express.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was just
was like bullet train speed.
It was just gone, and I was just like,
I know you hit someone. Why didn't you stop? That shot of Hector, the guy that is the vigilante, of him just like putting his hands up, and you see his face just like he's almost like nonchalant about the situation. Like he doesn't look panicked. He looks like he's been in this situation before. I remember when you and I were first watching, and before we got to the reveal that he is in fact a vigilante, I was thinking like this guy handled his own with 2 people like fairly easily.
Yeah.
He should have easily lost that fight with 2 guys, especially cops. I feel like he's either a hardened criminal or a vigilante. I think he's a vigilante, and you were thinking that he's probably like a criminal.
Yeah.
I love that we were having that guessing game the entire time.
I'm so glad I didn't put any money on it. I still owe you $20 for something I can't remember. Oh, so yeah, Cobra Kai something. But yeah, I remember that. I was just like, he's probably a criminal. But when one of the cops, when we didn't know he was a cop, he like pushed him. He's like, you don't want to get involved. Like, you know, it's
and
all
he kept
good.
pushing him off. He wasn't trying to like hit him at first.
Yeah, he was just pushing, but I was just like, I would have just like whispered like, "Hey, I'm a cop." Like
there was a scene at one point where he gets pinned up against a pillar by one of the cops.
Yeah.
He could have just whispered in his ear right then and there.
Yeah.
I mean, I also don't know the laws. I mean, but I feel like they could have made an exception and be like, listen, we're undercover cops. We're trying to bust this guy.
Yeah, but even if they did say that, they were clearly just beating on the guy.
Yeah,
so,
they
like,
weren't asking him questions.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They weren't trying to bust
like
him.
that.
They were like busting him. Yeah. So these were like clearly cops abusing their power.
Yeah.
As undercover cops.
And I like that makes the whole like situation kind of like, you know, like strange. After the cop's partner, you know, gets swept away on a train, he want to pull out the gun and be like, and I'm just like, sir, why didn't you say this earlier? Everyone could have been here on the platform still, behind the yellow line. Like why didn't you say anything? So like now
stupid.
They fuck up. One of them gets killed, and now they're gunning for this guy. And I don't like it. I'm mad. I'm just like, Murdoch better get him off. Save this man. Save this man.
Yeah.
And the end of this episode, I don't know. I don't know if the man's saved, but like.
Yeah. When a cop gets killed, it's like the city will do whatever it takes to like punish somebody.
Yeah.
If it's not you, it's got to be somebody else. I don't know how they get Hector out of this because they need somebody to blame. And I don't know, man, like at the end of episode 2, when Matt is trying to protect his Hector's eyewitness from being killed by more cops.
Yes, because I almost forgot. How do I almost forget about that? They had a witness, the guy that they were beating on, the cop, that same cop that was there. He shows up with another cop to kill the guy. And I'm just like, Oh my
insane.
God. And I was like, good thing Matt was there already. I think he called Cherry, right? He's just like, someone's going to pick you up. Just leave.
Because that eyewitness is key to possibly getting Hector out of this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I also wonder, I'm like, why were they beating on him for? Like, what's that whole situation?
Yeah, I want to know about that too.
Will he be, if he's still alive, if he makes it to a courtroom alive, is he credible? Like, what were you doing there? What was going on? And then if he's pointing the finger at the cops, they're still going to be like, well, it's just you and this guy that, killed the cop. Like, so how are we supposed to believe that?
Yeah, they want somebody to blame.
I'm looking forward to the next episode.
I'm nervous, man.
Watch, they're gonna start it off, be like, we're gonna talk about all this other stuff, and we're not gonna give Jessica the part that she wants to see right now. Yeah, no, I'm really, because I was just like, wow, they're really coming in there, and then not only that, they were gonna kill Matt as well too.
They were beating on his ass too, and they were not gonna stop. And then Matt's just like, you don't want to do this, please. You don't want to do this. When they pulled a gun on him, it's almost like all the times I used to watch the Incredible Hulk show from like the 70s with Bill Bixby. There used to be reruns on it, and I would watch with my dad. And the first thing I thought of when Matt said, you don't want to do this, was whenever Bruce Banner goes, you don't want to see me when I'm angry. Like that's that moment that just came out of him. And then when he got activated and just murked those two cops, like, just, first of all, he didn't need to slam that one dude's head against the fridge multiple times, but he did that shit.
It's like he was dribbling a basket.
Yeah, and just like stains on the door.
Yeah.
And then I just had flashbacks of Frank Castle in court and talking about all this shit, like, I did that shit because I liked it. He's like, that voice is just in his ear.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I think I asked you. I was just like, are they dead? Like, because I'm like,
because one of their
necks,
one of their necks like snaps. I think.
Yeah,
like, one of the cops lands on their head.
Episodes of Ridiculousness where they do the scorpion thing, and I was just like,
yeah.
I don't think his neck's supposed to do that. Yeah, that was. I mean,
that was murder. That was like murder to me.
I don't know. I was just speechless. I was cringing. I couldn't like look away.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, shit. And then when he's just there, they should have let him drop the F-bomb. They should have gave them an F-bomb because he was clearly going to say that. And he just goes, ah. And I was just like, just say it. Just say it. Because I said it. Yeah, that was an intense scene. And I was just like, well, damn, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Now we got 2 more dead cops.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, yeah, very interesting stuff going on with these first 2 episodes. I'm really excited with the future of this show. I'm glad that I'm really liking it. I don't think it's as strong of a start as the previous seasons, but it's still close to that. So, and that's really all I can ask for at this point. So I just really hope the consistency just stays strong. I hope that 9 episodes is enough.
Yeah.
It's a little more than 8, but it's just like,
is this supposed to be like an ongoing like thing where we'll have a season 2?
Yes, they already confirmed the season 2.
Okay, I was like, is it a limited?
They confirmed the season 2. And apparently I heard that Foggy and Karen will be back in season 2. I'm like, what do you mean the Foggy's gone?
Flashbacks or
him as a ghost.
No, that'd be stupid. Because
that's how they introduce Supernatural World.
Was like, maybe they're gonna just airlift his body to Wakanda, put a little ball in him like they did that other white man. Yeah. But then we skipped to a year later, so I was like, he's dead. So like, if he shows up in any other thing except a flashback, it's just. And if they bring the timeline into this, don't do that.
That's the thing.
That would just be so.
You know what? Maybe I'm not against revivals this time. I want more Foggy. I will make an exception for Foggy.
No. You're talking all that shit, and now the timeline's
this
cool.
Is one
the
of
timeline's great.
Just for this, yes. And also bring back T'Challa. You could do that too. And then you could close out the stupid multiverse shit. Yes.
Nah, that shit's gonna
Those
be
are the
wide
2
open.
best smart uses I've ever thought of.
They're gonna pull some more Gamoras through. They're gonna bring Tony back, and yeah, it's just gonna get messy.
I'm very curious to see what they mean by Foggy coming back, because I think you're right. It's probably either gonna be like flashbacks, or they used like hallucination moments where Matt needs like a voice in his head, because they did that with Fisk. He shows up as like a phantom behind him in season 3, egging him on to like be violent. I'm really curious about that, and I'm just curious about the rest of this season. What would you rate these 2 episodes?
Oh wow. Oh.
Or do you want to rate them individually?
Okay. Wait, guys.
I always get stressed about the rating.
I don't know. I mean, for some reason today I was not expecting to do this. I don't know. How about individually? I think that I would give. Can I just rate the first 16 minutes of the first episode?
I guess.
I give it the most potato, and then the rest of the episode, I give it
a baked
potato.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give episode a loaded potato. No.
For episode 2?
Yes. No, episode 1.
Oh, as an average?
Yeah.
Okay.
Episode 2, I think I would honestly give that the most potato.
Oh, wow. That good?
Yeah, I really thought it was good.
Interesting.
What about you?
Episode 1, I'd rate a strong baked potato. And then episode 2, I would say a strong loaded potato. I just hope that they keep it up and we just keep getting really good storytelling because I really need a reason to keep Disney Plus. Because I'm really about to just shut this shit down. If we get another disappointment, like it's just gonna be gone.
Yeah.
All right, so those are all our thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of Daredevil Born Again. What did you guys think of this start of this new series? I keep wanting to say season 4. It is season 4. Fuck it, it's season 4.
It's a new series.
What did you guys think of this new interpretation of Daredevil? Did you like it? Are there things you don't like? What are your thoughts, theories, observations, questions, conspiracy theories? Let us know in the comments below. We love talking to you guys about all these things that we pick out in these shows, and it's really fun to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
So definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit notification bells. Get your lawyers to watch this, your criminal masterminds, and spread it through all of New York City. Make us mayors.
Oh.
We'll be better than Fisk. We promise.
Nah, I'm gonna leave all the holes.
Yes.
We will see you guys next time.
All right, peace.